Hey Aries, happy birthday. It's your season. So this is your first time here. It does not matter your Aries placement, sun, moon, rising, whatever. There's going to be something here for you. So I read from the first house perspective with astrology, but I mostly read intuitively. So basically the astrology, if you want to get a pen and paper, I give you some dates that will be important to you, and let's get into it. So your current energies right now, the beginning of April, which technically is like halfway through your season. So, okay, we have the Five of Swords in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. I want to say there's a lot of opportunities for you, okay? You're definitely main character energy this month, and it's so important because there's a solar eclipse in your sign later this month. So if you're not feeling that main character energy due to some external situations, do what you need to do to get into your main character. It's your birthday, okay? We're not playing right now. When it comes to solar eclipses or any eclipses, we tend to feel the effects for about 6 months afterwards. And so what this is telling me is that there is some going in to do, okay? There's something outside of you kind of pulling you away from that. And personally, a lot of us think the universe tests us. And personally, I don't think the universe tests us. I think that if you believe that, the universe will give you these situations to simulate a test that you would consider a test. But I don't think the universe tests us. I think it gives us opportunities to either repeat or do something different. And so if you're coming across something that's like the same situation, same shit, different day type of feel, just take that as a note that you can make different decisions when the time comes. I do have the Lovers on the bottom. This full moon is going to be really big for you too. It's in Libra. It's directly across from you, and that's on the 5th. But let me get into that in just a minute. The first transit I want to talk about is Mercury in your 2nd house. Mercury moves into Taurus on the 3rd. So, Aries. We have the Ace of Cups. So I think that you could definitely upgrade your self-care routines, your love routines, the amount of emotional fulfillment that you're allowing for yourself, okay? Obviously, if something outside of you is pulling you, distracting you, making you triggered, that's just really a golden sign. Like, that's a piece of gold for you to be like, oh, I know what this is now, and now I know what to do with it, rather than, there's a time to be angry, there's a time to be frustrated, and then it comes a point where it's just too much. And in that time is where we flip that switch and turn to that main character energy and be like, oh wait, I love myself. Oh yeah, I love myself so much that I can know this outside things are going on, and I can turn my attention to myself and fulfill myself, right? It's not until we start looking for those outside things that we start feeling like, oh, does this even work? Like, does manifestation work? Does, is the universe out to get me type of stuff? And that's just not the vibe for your season. So this full moon, let's talk about it, because I think that it's going to be really big if you have a relationship that you want, or you want to boost your current relationships and your work life. Okay, so both of those categories, we do have the Lovers on the bottom. So a lot of these transits are like happening in your first 4 houses, so your really personal houses. The Libra full moon will be in your 7th house of relationships, of work. So let's talk about that first. Yeah. Every month that I read you, I feel like I'm telling you, oh, you want to decide if you want to stay at this job or you want to do something else or blah, blah, blah. Some of you are deciding like, okay, I need to stay at this job while I work on something else and stabilize something else until you feel the confidence to move over 100%. Again, these trends that are happening are so powerful, especially around the solar eclipse, like later on this month, that you can make these jumps if you're confident, okay? But there's some indecision, like, should I stay or should I go? And I feel like this month's gonna kind of put the pressure on you, or what you wanna move to might require a little bit more from you and a little bit more patience with this Knight of Pentacles. Okay, it's something that you've either been working on for a long time or something that is slow to come to fruition. But again, it doesn't really, I don't think anything's really moving slow for you this month. So keep that in mind in making your choices. You can have whatever you want. But there's some decisions to be made, okay? I'm also getting with this is like 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door type of thing. And I think your season's calling you to make some jumps. Yeah. Yeah, you might find yourself making, and the Libra theme around the 5th is also, it might like bring your indecision to such a prominent focus that the decision comes really clear to you. So keep that in mind also. Venus in your 3rd house on the 10th. Okay. So I have a lot of predictions with this. Okay, we have the moon in reverse. Yeah. Be careful around the full moon. And I don't say that to scare you. I'm just saying, you know, don't let any one thing, don't get your sights so set on it having to be a specific path to what you want. Okay, loosen up the reins on your direction. Trust and surrender. You might feel like this has to happen this way, and this is the only logical way that I can get from point A to point B. And I challenge you to kind of defy your logic and see what happens, because a lot of the things that happen in this 3rd dimensional world that we live in are not logical. If you look closely enough, the majority of the things that happen in our life are not logical. So if you're moving based purely on logic, I challenge you to balance that out with a little faith, okay? Faith. So Venus in your 3rd house on the 10th. This can give you a boost, okay? This Venus in your 3rd house can give you a boost. It can give you the opportunities to make the right connections, okay? Rather, this is through like your friends, your social circles. There might be a little bit of romantic interest there too, but if that's not your thing right now, I do see you making awesome connections through the people you know, okay? It's something where you would have to, like, you know, kind of put yourself out there in a way to make these connections, but I see it happening so beautifully for you in a way that you did not expect, okay? I see you maybe like getting frustrated with a certain situation, and now you move, you're just like, screw this, I'm gonna go out and just like, you know, be with my friends for a night or a day or whatever, and something really just coming to your attention, or you come across the right person, and bam. The next thing that already happened, so last month, Mars moved into Cancer, finally moved out of Gemini after all those months, and now it's in Cancer for the next couple months. This is in your 4th house. So I do see you, if I didn't already mention this last month, I do see you rearranging your home to just better suit what you're going through right now. if you are kind of feeling down, I definitely see that boosting your mood. I see you doing like some decluttering. Do some heavy decluttering. Like seriously, anything that does not match who you are now, let it go. Physically get these things out of your aura, get these things out of your space. They're clogging the flow of your blessings. Okay, if you have things in your wardrobe that do not match the way you feel about yourself, donate them, give them away, sell them, do what you do with clothes that you are not inspired by anymore, because you're the main character right now. So you can't be out here looking crazy and like, you know, not put together, because that's not how you want to feel anymore. All right, so that's what I see. But that was last month. That was on the 25th. So what do we have here? The Four of Cups and Three of Wands. Some of you are resistant to move forward in a situation. I think this is really you needing to dig the ditches of whatever past thing happened, okay? Something happened and it's either, this is what I think this is. I think this is you being sick or fed up, and that sort of launching you into where you're meant to be. Okay, this happens to all of us. Sometimes we're just so sick of our own shit that we can't take it anymore. We need a change. We need it now. And I get that urgency, because this isn't a place that you want to stay. This is also a card of not fully digesting all the blessings that are available to you. So those first two cards, I pulled the Five of Swords and the Hermit in reverse. I feel like whatever external thing had your attention, whatever was sort of triggering you or is currently, I feel like that has distracted you from things that are very much presently available to you. These aren't things that you have to go out and seek and find and necessarily, you know, sort of like this where you're very eager to move forward and anticipatory of what's to come. It's like, I feel like when you declutter your home, when you get your space like sanctified and vibey and just how you want it, I think you're gonna sit in your house and just realize, like, you're gonna have this moment where you just look around and you're like, holy shit, like, this is what I wasn't giving to myself. You mean I could have given this to myself all along, and I let some crusty dusty situation distract me from what I already had? So there is like a realization of how much you already do have, that you don't have to go out and seek, okay? That you don't have to wait for. You know, I know you're impatient. I am too. It's okay. Sometimes. So I do see that. We have the Two of Cups on the bottom. Some of you might be, and if this doesn't apply to you, don't make it apply, but some of you might be recovering from a relationship that didn't go the way you wanted it to, and now you're turning a new leaf and you're learning how to move forward without this person. There might have been a little bit of codependency, which like is kind of hard to avoid sometimes, especially when you've been with somebody for a long time. But if that's the case, then I definitely see super benefits to you redoing your space, okay? If everything's like reminding you of this person, it's going to be hard to, so freshen that up. Do that for your psyche, okay? It's going to help you move forward a lot. Should we talk about the solar eclipse now? Okay. So I'm going to let the cards speak. Okay, we have the Eight of Wands, the Two of Pentacles, This month is going to go by really quickly. Some of you would probably agree with me when I say this whole year has gone by quickly. So I feel like you're at this point where, you know, it's your birthday, it's another year for you, and you're just reflecting on your emotional state, you know, how you feel as a person, how it feels to be in your skin. And that's always something we do around our solar return. But I think if you have, obviously there's some urgency in Aries season. It's very much a moving forward, but I feel like this is I feel like your season's gonna rush through as it always does, and you're gonna come to Taurus season and you're gonna kind of feel this balance setting in. Okay, so if during your season you don't feel the tangible results of all the hard work you're doing, I do see a lot, because the day after your solar eclipse is Taurus season. So all the work you're doing right now, you're really gonna see it. Don't give up in these next few weeks, because you're really gonna start seeing the tangible effects of everything that you're working towards around the 19th and the 20th. Okay, and that's when things are gonna start, if they haven't already, they're gonna start being more real, okay? There's still some things like in the vibrational baby seed stages. And I feel like the easier you are on those seeds during your season, okay, don't let your impatience like dig them up and see, oh, how much has it grown? How much has it grown? Just leave it sort of. If you're feeling impatient, find somewhere to spend your energy. You can do this at the gym. You can learn a new skill. Start learning a new language, okay? If you only know one language, you should definitely start learning a new language. Find someplace productive to put all that extra energy, because I'm feeling your energy right now, and I'm like sweating, and I feel like I could, yeah, do anything right now. Like I'm just like I'm not overwhelmed. I'm just full of energy right now. So yes, again, Pisces is your 12th house. So Saturn and Neptune, there's a lot of disillusionment happening for you, not just for you, but for everyone. And because it's in your 12th house, sometimes it can feel a little bit embarrassing. Don't feel embarrassed. Like embrace that, okay? I mean, feel what you feel. Who am I to tell you to not feel embarrassed? But if you are feeling that way in any way, don't let it get to you. Don't let it dominate you. Don't let it run the show here, because everyone's feeling it a little bit in different ways. And it's just because it's in your 12th house, it can be a little more, you know, deeper than you thought. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. There's no shame, okay? So anything more for your solar eclipse? I don't feel like that was enough. The Empress. I want you to know that you are very, very, very creative, and the power in your fingertips right now, don't spend that on some frustration, okay? Don't let anyone try to yank that out of your hands, okay? This is a card of fertility. This is also really a Taurus energy, okay? So your second house, and obviously moving into Taurus season. So do me a favor, like this video, subscribe and hit the bell notifications. First of all, it's gonna make our little collective here so much more accurate to y'all individually, like doing that. So obviously I'm here to serve. So our little collective here, do that. But also, moving into Taurus season, I wanna have your videos out so that you're prepared before the month gets here. On the 20th, Like I said, you're going to start seeing things move. You're going to start seeing the tangible effects of all the work that you've done. So if you need to save this video, come back to this video anytime you need reminded of that. Follow my, socials, whatever, because I don't want you giving up too soon. Okay, I don't want you giving up too soon. The Empress is a card. She is a mother. She is pregnant. Okay, she is fertile. And you can take that in a lot of different ways, but the way I want to present this to you is the gestation period of a baby. It takes a while. Okay? And so that patience is going to be a tool that you can keep in your back pocket, okay? If you start getting antsy or thinking, oh, this doesn't work, just remember, how the miracle of childhood does not happen instantaneously. Could you imagine how chaotic this planet would be if as soon as we got pregnant, the baby was just born the next day? Okay? That time period is needed and necessary. So keep that in mind. And I think I'm going to end your video there. If you want a personal reading for clarity, if you want to help making decisions, whatever, my link's below. You do not have to be present for your personal reading. I record your reading after I get the order. Okay, if you want to talk to me first, you can through email. But either way, email me to let me know that you got a reading, but also that's where I send your reading. What this does is it allows us the freedom of time, so you don't have to clear your schedule for a face-to-face with me. I don't have to do the same, so we're much less limited there. And also, you can watch this reading as many times as you want, your personal reading, okay? If you want to watch it, whatever. I'm not repeating myself, I'm sorry. Okay, it's 22:22 on the timer, and I just want to remind you that everything is working in your favor all the time. There's a lot of energy to align with. You can be in an entirely different place in the next few weeks if you just have that sort of grace for yourself, okay? All right, all my links are below. I'm done rambling. Happy birthday again, and we'll talk soon.